I've been listening to a lot more music, which has been so nice. I love music, and it's actually great to just listen to it. And
have you listened to Everyday Life yet? You got one more Coldplay album to go.
I listened to Everyday Life last year, like a few weeks ago, but I will listen to it again.
We listened to it last Sunday on the vinyl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, so I've listened to that album, but basically first I started off with Coldplay, go through their discography and listen to all of their previous albums. So I've listened to almost all their albums. Now I just need to go and listen to
Who are you going to listen to next?
I've actually got a full-on list of just like who I want to get to eventually. I don't really know. I think I'm going to go to the Hoods next. The Hilltop Hoods.
Here we go.
And I just go and listen to their back catalogue.
Clearly the love of Coldplay did not change this man at all. So you really do want to listen to the Hoods next. Good, man.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go back and do the same
you've only listened to Great Expanse?
As a full album all the way through, yeah, only Great Expanse, yeah.
So you got the Call-In, the Hard Road. We listened to Stay of the Art of Me.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that, you know, I'm very keen to do that, and I'm going to do it with a bunch of artists: Queen, Elton John, you know, the classics, but then also,
Stormzy.
You know, other stuff. Yeah, people like Stormzy.
He's only got 2 albums.
I want to go back and listen to the Kanye albums, like, you know, just shit like that. Like, look, Jesus is king. You know,
the Fears 2 game. Nah,
Jesus is king. And this is how he wins.
That's just him.
That's
man, I'm Jesus. Remember, I'm the fucking.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm the carpenter. Wait, his father's fucking God. What do you mean his father was a carpenter? Oh, you mean Joseph?
Yeah, I mean Joe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
Morning Joe.
Well, God's technically the father, isn't he?
Yeah.
Go for Joe.
Yeah, but Joe's kind of like the stepdad. You know, like, I hate you, Dad. You're not my real dad. That kind of thing.
I fucking hate working with you. Like.
Yeah.
It's such a weird fucking story. How do people
I hate working with you.
You're
not even my real dad. Yeah.
No, but honestly, I reckon you would really enjoy listening to Stormzy. And there's only 2 albums. So
There you go. I got small amount to go. And honestly, like, I know you're gonna fucking cringe at this, but I'm just using this as an example. But like, I want to listen to a lot of stuff just to educate myself on music. Like, for example, Billie Eilish. I saw she has a full album, and just as an example, so I know what's going on in music. I know the different styles. I can differentiate between them. And I've said this to you before as well. Like, if I listen to an album and I don't like it and I'm not enjoying it, I don't have to listen to the whole thing. But it's the fact that, well, I'm not going to force myself to listen to an entire album if it's shit. But, you know, it's the fact of just going out and trying out a bunch of different things, seeing what I like, and just getting myself really involved and just diving into this art.
Are you going to listen to the Restrung albums?
What's that? What do you mean by that?
Well, the Hoods of 2 Restrung albums.
What does Restrung mean?
So they got the Hard Road Restrung, which I'm going to be completely honest with you, the Hard Road is my least favorite album. I'm not saying it's bad, but...
So when you say that, you mean like they reproduce...
So they're actually going to... I read an interview, and I've only heard it once, which is really weird. I think they said it by mistake, but they're going to do another Restrung album. I've only read that once. But, so basically... the albums Drinking from the Sun, Walking on the Stars, they were planned to do a restrung where basically they redo the music. They keep the audio track, but the instrumental is done by a live orchestra.
Ah, I see.
But there are some...
That's pretty cool.
On Drinking from the Sun, Walking on the Stars, restrung, there's 4 like new songs.
Okay.
And they all fucking slap. That's where,
baby.
like, the first part 6, part 7, it's where 1955's off, and it's where Higher is off.
Like a bit of a curtain call, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know, but basically they restring the, and they did a restrung tour, which is pretty cool. So they're on stage with like a full fucking orchestra, which is really crazy because they're like swearing and shit, and there's like a fucking full orchestra and stuff. But I'm glad you're doing this. I'm glad you're opening up your vocabulary to music.
What part of the reason I did it was because I thought that
I need it.
You know, art and music and everything else is just something that I enjoy so much and something that I want to dive into. And I caught myself listening to so much like sort of politics, but sort of like just news in general and stuff that I still think is important to consume to a degree. But when that's all you're listening to, and when you're just consuming things that are topical and what's going on today and what's in the world today, it gets so tedious and you become such a boring person.
You know what I
mean? Like someone who's...
I get that. It was your mental state.
Yeah, and and it put my mental state down because it's like all I'm hearing is this depressing stuff. Oh, World War III. Oh, fucking, you know, all this shit. Like, or whatever it is. the day of, you know, but Australian fires, you know, whatever, fucking Amazon's on fire, all this shit. That's like, it's important to know about. It's important to care about. But if that's all you're consuming, that's really not good. And the thing is that I'm so much more passionate about art. Like, I was listening to this stuff, and I was listening because, you know, I want to be smart. I want to be knowledgeable and know what's going on. But that's not what I'm passionate about. It doesn't make me happy in the way that listening to music and listening to songs and watching films and watching TV shows, it doesn't make me happy in the way that stuff does.